This is gonna be very, very interesting.
So let's talk about the VGAs. But let's not talk about the VGAs. I don't want to talk about how the VGAs went because, let's be honest, none of the jokes landed and we all just kind of felt offended. So, let's talk about some of the premieres that were super awesome. There are 3 different games that were premiered that I am so excited about. I could like headbutt a unicorn and be endowed with magical powers. The first one that I want to talk about is possibly surprising to many of you. Now I know that my rippling muscles and my extreme six-pack might lead your mind astray, but I'm actually not that great at sports-based games. Sports and I were not like super close friends, and I actually find sports games typically kind of boring, unfortunately. But there is one type of sports game that I love and will always play, and that is snowboarding games. It just so happens that my favorite snowboarding game of all time is SSX Tricky. It wasn't because it was super flashy and fanciful and all of the characters were super awesome, but it was actually mostly because of the way that the game handled. Like, my brother and I played 1080 for a while, which a lot of people love and will defend to the grave, but I think compared to SSX Tricky, it just really, like, fell in the dirt. So since that game, I haven't actually gotten what I really wanted, which was a game that was super engaging, was still, you know, a snowboarding game, and had a lot to it, and great music and characters, while also being really easy to play and expanding the more that you played it. Like, even though it was an easy game to pick up and figure out how to play, I felt like every time I played it, I learned how to do something new, which was super cool. I loved it. The SSX games that came after that did not hold up, they didn't keep my attention, I didn't like them as much. So now, there's SSX Deadly Descents. This game looks completely different from the other SSX games, but in a way that I'm really excited about. I don't like when a series of games are exactly the same. I think that that's boring. I think that if you're gonna just keep recycling the exact same game, then why even bother playing the other ones? I could just play the first one and get the exact same experience. So SSX Deadly Descents is looking to be a much darker game almost. Like the colors in it are really like rigid, and it looks like it's gonna be just so entirely different. If I can get a game that handles like the other SSX games do, in a way that is really easy to pick up, has a lot of depth to it, and gives me an entirely different storyline, different types of characters, just revamps the entire thing, I will be super jacked. Side note that has nothing to do with anything, I'm going to start trying to take the word reboots out of my vocabulary entirely. There are some words that people use way too often to describe things, like epic. Also, gritty has been way overused lately, and because of how many reboots are showing up in the video game world, I've decided I'm not gonna call them reboots anymore. It's getting old. I don't like it. But you know what I do like? The reboot show. I hope they actually make that movie someday. Okay, so my second game that I'm jacked up about is Batman Arkham City. Now, Arkham Asylum was an awesome game. It was a lot darker than other Batman games that we've played before. It was just, oh, it was so good. And I know so many people who replay it over and over and over again. Like, it's that good. It doesn't age in a bad way. So the teaser trailer was expanded to be a full trailer that was showcased at the VGAs, and they showed who the bad guy in this one is, which is Dr. Hugo Strange. Dr. Strange. When I was watching the trailer, I don't know if any of you will get this, but when I was watching the trailer, all I could think was, oh my gosh, it's like Dr. Steele high-fived Dr. Steinman from BioShock. I don't know, he doesn't seem that crazy, but that's just like what hit me. So that's how I'm going to see him until I actually play the game, which is kind of destructive. If you haven't seen the teaser trailer or the full trailer, you should watch it. I'm gonna link you to all 3 of the trailers that were shown, but the Arkham City trailer is insane, CG-wise. Like, it's one of those things where you're watching it and you're like, is this nope, it's CG. Okay, wasn't sure. It's gonna be a gorgeous game. It's gonna be really awesome, I think. And the trailer definitely gets you pumped to play it. It's very, crap, I can't use the word epic because I just talked about how I hate overuse of words. Synonym for epic. Epic synonyms. Legendary. narrative of or pertaining to a tale. Okay, so maybe that didn't turn out so well, but at least I tried. Either way, I'm definitely going to pick up this game. It's coming out for PC, 360, and PS3, so we can all play it and enjoy it together and hold it close to our bosoms. The third game that I'm excited about is Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Now, we haven't had an Elder Scrolls game since 2006. It's a long time. I mean, for a series, it's just, like, I feel like they waited the perfect amount of time for people to be jacked up about a new Elder Scrolls game. All we know from the trailer, which is not much, is that there's a dragon, and somebody combating the dragon, and the dragon breathes fire. Also, there's a really intense narrator. You will never forget the release date, because it is November 11th of 2011. 11/11/11. If you forget it, I'm gonna be really disappointed in you. The biggest thing that's being talked about with the Elder Scrolls V game is that they're using a completely different engine. Now, a lot of people are excited about it, and actually I think people are hoping that they're not just building on the engine that they've used before, that they're starting from the ground up, which I don't know enough about it to know which one would be the better option. But I know that a lot of people, the community in general, is very excited to see this game play out in a different way, to see them use a different engine. That's going to be really nice, and the mechanics of the game will definitely improve somehow. So something unassociated with the VGAs is that Guillermo del Toro's game has finally been talked about. There is a name for it. It is called Insane, and it's going to be released in 2013. It's a horror series, and apparently Guillermo has said that he is retaining the rights to later turn it into a movie, which is only supporting the reasons that a lot of gamers don't want movie directors involved in making video games. I love Guillermo del Toro though, so I really want this to be successful, and it seems like whenever a movie director is involved in making a video game, everybody just hates them by the end of it, and are talking about how they didn't get it, and they didn't understand how to work with the team. I don't want that to happen to him. I want him to, like, be the one who understood and figured it out. Apparently it's going to be very mind-trippy, but really we don't know a lot about it. They just came out with information about it, so I guess we'll have to see what it's going to turn out to be, but it's exciting. I'm excited to play it in like 2 years. Anywho, that's my show, so I hope that everything is going super fantastic and you're having a great week, and I will talk to you guys again in a couple days. And for those of you who are curious, I had a Facebook status update that was saying that I lost my license. I found it! Yay! So my day picked up a lot after that. Anywho, I will talk to you guys again later.